Okay, so PleaseTech's a software company, pure play software company. So it was software as a product, and the product was Please Review, and what that does is collaborative document review and co-authoring. So to the layman, that means I've got a Word document, I need lots of people to comment on it. How do I do that? And we provided a product which allowed many people to comment on it in a controlled way, and provided an audit trail, a full record of who said what happened to it and why. And very importantly, for Word and PDF files, we were able to take those comments and what we call round trip those back into the Word document, thus saving a lot of retyping. So it was a software product, and it's very, very successful in all the big document intensive industries. So companies like pharmaceutical, defence, big engineering companies who need to review specifications and so on by many people. So that's essentially, it's collaborative. It does what it says on the tin: collaborative document review and co-authoring. I think there are three reasons we were attracted to an acquirer. I mean, clearly we had a unique technology, so high IP with fairly high market entry barriers. That's always an attractive thing to have, but technology in itself I don't think is valuable. So the customer base was diverse and consisted of blue chip companies, so that's obviously a good thing. Big pharmaceutical companies, big defence companies, big IT companies, big engineering companies. Those are attractive people to do business with, so that obviously helps. And then finally, of course, it's the money, so annual recurring revenue, ARR, was good. Our revenue was good. We were growing strongly, and the market was still there. We'd hardly scratched the market, in my opinion. So I think all of those things combined together make it a very attractive acquisition prospect for the acquirer. That's a very great question. I mean, there are lots of interesting times during the process, some ups and downs, but I think for me, the most scary moment was telling the staff on the morning it was announced on the London Stock Exchange that the business had been acquired. And, you're explaining to a team you've built up over the course of, in some cases, 10 years, in some cases longer, that the business is being sold, and suddenly, while your life is going very well, theirs might not be. So, and suddenly all that uncertainty comes into their lives, as opposed to in your life to a certain extent. So I think that was probably the certainly the worst moment in the process. Whether it was the most scary, I think it would probably rank right up there. I think the first bit of advice I'd say is that when it's time. You've built the business, and I built the business simply to build a great product, and not with necessarily a view to exit. But the reality is that you're going to exit at some point, and how are you going to do that? Unless you've got a particular desire to run an IPO, then it's probably going to be realistically through a trade sale. And so you need to run your business with that in mind. You need to run your business from an administrative perspective with the fact that you're going to go through a due diligence process. So that's the first bit of advice. I think the second bit of advice is choose your professional advisors with care, and you're going to have a close relationship with those professional advisors, and that's both the corporate finance team and the legal team. So that's a key aspect. And then the third is treat it as a sale. I mean, if you're in business-to-business sales, which I was, then it's no real different from any other business-to-business sales process. You've got an asset, you're trying to sell that asset. If it's a software license, a large software license, or if it's a business, you need to make sure that you de-risk the process for the acquirer. You need to make sure that the acquirer is happy, and you hit your numbers, because there's nothing which is going to derail the deal more than you miss your numbers. Set the expectations, but in all other terms, think of it like a sale. If you're selling an asset to someone, you've got to keep their confidence up. You've got to keep talking to them. You've got to keep communicating to them. And as a salesman, the first thing I'd say is when the communication stops, the sales stops. And you're in trouble. So you've got to keep that level of communication going. It's a great question, and the answer is three things, I think. Firstly, it's personality. I've known Alan for a long time, and choosing your correct corporate finance partner is important, that you get on with them, because you're going to have to work quite closely with them. So having a chemistry, having an understanding, having a good feeling when you work with them, I think is very important. So we did go out, we did do a beauty parade and talk to a number of corporate finance houses, and we felt that the chemistry with Icon was a good one, and obviously we'd known them for a while. The second side is you want somebody who is specialist in the tech industry, somebody who gets technology, understands technology. I think there are a number of companies out there, corporate finance companies, who claim to be able to sell any company you can find, and they go through a process, but without that specialist knowledge of the technology area. The valuations in technology are obviously very important. It's not just a multiplier. There's IP which comes into it, and so that knowledge and that understanding around technology is really important. And then finally, it's got to be what I call the little black book. It's I think technically it's known as the buyer universe or something like that, but it's essentially the contacts known to the corporate finance team and their knowledge of what you do and who might be an appropriate fit. So people frequently say that the companies who acquire you are known to you through your food chain, whether that be through a partnership, through a clientship, or through something else. Actually, in our case, it was a company we had no knowledge of, so Icon introduced that company. It was a good fit, they saw the fit, and that worked very well for everybody.